Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it's off!
Where are you going?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Failed.
Backwash.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I feel renewed.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Where are you
attack.
going?
Out of tolerance.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Do it with flair.
It's just not fair.
Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Coming in. I'm ahead of me.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
What a handsome devil.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Боже, ты посмотри вокруг, что происходит!
Dire are scanning.
Double damage.
Gotcha!
Rock it on. Entrapment.
So good and tasty!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Thank you, my beauties.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Boom, there it goes.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He disconnected.
Almighty One.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fans in the fun. Too late for you.
Unstoppable double kill.
tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Your Shan has fallen to the ground.
Coin of the realm.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Incoming! My armor is my coffin.
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Sword.
Что за шум?
It's neither fair nor foul.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Night!
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Iris connected.
Я раздражительный, если меня все бесит. Я раздражительный, если меня все бесит.
Trust me, I know how to handle such power.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. fortified. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
What? I lost.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Coming in.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And it's off.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Do it with flair. And it's off.
Dire are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Я раздражительность, мне все бесит.
Ты посмотри вокруг, что происходит!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Horn of the realm.
Radiant are scanning.
Coming in. Our cavorting days is over, Mortimer. Incoming.
Iris connected.
Dire are scanning. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Boom, there it goes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Boom, there it goes.
Don't run off.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Endless flare.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Flares.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Close your eyes.
Я раздражительный, что бесит.
Better not fall off. Tell me someone saw that. And it's on.
The charm has fallen to the radiant.
Coin of the realm.
my beauties. Incoming! Jackpot!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Boom! There it goes!
Gotcha.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
And it's off!
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bombing in!
Invisibility.
And it's off!
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning.
Incoming!
Dire's bottom tower, Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Wait up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Boom! There it goes!
Almighty money.
Do it with flair!
I almost feel bad.
Tell me someone saw that!
The jury of my peers.
is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Come down here.
Radiant are scanning. Your song has fallen to the lake.
Fatality. Execution.
Bounty! Not to be expected.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant victory. Radiant team ban.
The way they take this game. And with that kind of approach, I think one move could have a little bit of a problem because they are a little bit on the slower side, for sure. You know, looking at some of the other teams who tend to play a little bit faster. One move tend to want to slow down the game.
Yeah, and we have talked about how they seem to prioritize playing through the mid lane as well. So if Aincrad, I mean, there was some good rotations in the early parts of that game where it didn't involve having to back Aincrad up. Yeah, Aincrad was pressured as well. I think that was the big thing, that the tier 1 tower was pressured by Roger on the Enchantress by the the Death Prophet Exorcism in that mid lane coming in so early on, that forced Aincrad to look for rotations off the lane. But he looked incredibly comfortable in that first game, even when he was being pressured. He found the split push coming through with that shard on the Snapfire, so able to clean up the creep wave with the molten cookie. And I think one move in this, they played to a level of synergy that I don't think I've seen so far, even in the games that they've pushed close. Even in that 75-minute game up against Batboom, I don't think they looked as consistent as they did in that first match.
Dire team pick.
No, they looked solid. I'd say they looked pretty solid, though. To me, it looked like they weren't pressured enough. I like the Boots of Travel as well. I think the Boots of Travel on Aincrad and later on down the line on Afterlife were a big part of it as well, because they were seeing that the Terribly Delusions weren't enough to push out the waves. So then you use the two heroes that aren't naturally like the greatest at pushing out the waves, hiding in the jungle. You get a Blink and the Boots of Travel on one, and you have it naturally on the other, on the Doom, and you're just making sure that the lanes are pushed out. So yeah, I think those were also big parts of them making the space, making the time before the big fight really did break out.
Yeah, and we'd see that. I mean, again, the Death Prophet does come out, the Timing, the Treant ban out, the Broodmother and the Lena, so not going to be letting through the Brood, who I don't think we've seen. We might have seen one or two matches, but it does seem to be the ever-present ban here in every single region. Apart from last night, where Liquid got it 3 times. But every other team does seem to respect, even over the power of the Lena, even over the power of the Riki, this Brood ban. But we do see one move going for something similar. The Rubik comes out up against the Death Prophet here. Do they want to go back for that Snapfire?
They could. I wouldn't hate it if they feel like that's the way. The thing is that Darkside are going to be changing things up right now. I think if one move big snap, that we're going to be seeing something like a Riki, a setup for a kill, and then one move aren't going to have that much of a chance to split push. But still, I think Snap is great because it doesn't really force you to do one thing. Maybe they're contemplating, if we don't pick a Clockwork, the enemies will get it or ban it, and it really was one of the key factors of one move in the first game.
Yeah, I think that's from what I've seen across the different regions, definitely one of the top 3 position 5s at the minute playing on that Clockwork, and it is just so easy to be able to get that dive in. So they are going to go back for the Snap, so it does leave the clock on the table.
Beastmaster.
So it's going to be a different approach. They go for the Beastmaster. Okay, Darkside go for a completely different approach than what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to go for full-on fight, an offlaner with a Blink, something along those lines. I know that DK Focus, he likes the Beastmaster, he likes those types of heroes, but they just go all in on the push. So they're not even gonna get, from my point of view, they might not even get one hero that catches someone, just go full in again, Venges, the Enchantresses, and just are gonna be like, we were missing that one key hero that helps us push even faster. To imply even more pressure. That's what it looks like, and of course it does give vision, something that Darkside really were lacking in the previous game.
Do you then? No, I suppose they've already got the Rubik, and yeah, they could go for this clock. Yeah, I was just thinking one move. Do they want to go for something like the Enchantress to try and deal with that Beastmaster in the lane? Make it a little bit harder for them to get that momentum up. But
10 seconds.
I don't know if that's something that one move. I don't even know if it's a hero they play here.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure if Phantom plays it. I think he can, but then Gilgir is going to be on the Rubik 100%, then you know that it's not going to be an offlane Snapfire rather than the mid lane Snapfire. And I mean, the Clockwork is overall a much better pick with these two heroes. Let's see if Darkside are afraid of it, or if they think that it's not going to make that much of a difference when we have a vision hero of our own.
Yeah, and There was
10
some early
seconds
engagement
remaining.
from Pantomime on the bottom lane. Like I say, the hook's not completely accurate. There,
5
you got some
seconds
scuffed
remaining.
initiations there. So, like you say, with that Beastmaster coming out, being able to throw the hooks around the map, that maybe they aren't as good as this, of this
Dire team
clockwork.
ban.
Yeah, they're going to ban up the Naga Siren. So the clockwork is still on the table if one move wants it.
Yep, it is there. Of course, again, a little bit tougher to play it against what Darkseid have right now. But that's again for the early stages of the game. I think when you see the Beastmaster, you probably feel like you need something that's gonna give you vision. No illusion-based heroes that push out the waves like the Naga Siren would be good, plus it lanes well against the Beast. And they ban out the Clockwork themselves and pick up an Enchantress. Okay, so you were right there, but Darkseid were ready. Okay, so it is gonna be a little bit of ganking coming out from their side. The problem here I see is that the Mirana has very low win rate in the Eastern European region. Like, incredibly low, and it's not like you have a lot of things to set up for the
10
arrow.
seconds
So
remaining.
I'm not sure about these two picks from Darkseid. The problem though, on
5
one move,
seconds
they are
remaining.
very susceptible, especially on two of their supports, to dying to magical
Radiant
damage. And
team
you know,
back.
Darkseid, you look at their heroes, there's not a lot of magical burst, but every one of their heroes has that spell that can do something. So that's something that I am afraid of. And one move, they go for the Terrorblade again. I'm not sure about this. This time around, they don't have that initiation that they had the previous time. So even if Munkushi would get super
10
powerful,
seconds remaining.
it's not certain you'll be able to start off the fight.
Yeah,
5
I would like to
seconds
see
remaining.
something in the offlane that has some decent sustain, like the Dragon Knight. Maybe even they pick up the Primal Beast themselves here. It
Dire
offers a
team
little
back.
bit of tower push potential as well as the rotation, the gank. You know, so that semi-split push, or excuse me, semi-push, semi-gank potential that would be offered by the Dragon Knight. Doom does get banned as well. So one move this time, do they take out the Morphling?
10 seconds
Or even,
remaining.
would you... Oh, I mean, the Slark is still there as well.
5 seconds remaining.
The Slark, I don't know if you want
Radiant
it
team
on Dark Side,
back.
it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
The Drow is the one that definitely gets taken out. Though I don't know if necessarily it would have been that great for the Dark Side lineup. But I think they're still contemplating a Void or the Morphling, and I
10
think a Void
seconds remaining.
might be. You have the Enchantress this time around. I think this time around you ban
5
out the
seconds
Morphling, because the
remaining.
Enchantress is going to be in your face and the Morphling kills her quite easily. So if I was an Enchantress, I would vote for the Morphling ban.
Is it not similar though that because Morphling wants to
Dire
be
team
in that,
back.
you know, Agi attribute shift, that you could just use the Enchantress with the impetus, you know, you max out onto that impetus and throw that pure damage in, you get the damage that way onto the Morphling. Because the Morphling still doesn't have the highest health pool when he is shifted all the way into his Agi side of the game.
True, but it's still the
10 seconds
Enchantress that is going to be laning against the Beastmaster. He's not going to be destroying him in
5
lane, and later on down the
Yeah.
line, Morphling uses the waveform over the Enchantress and she blows up. That's how it goes. That's just how these two heroes work together. If you don't force yourself out of that waveform, you just straight up die. So that's why I think Morphling would be a pretty solid one. You can see that one move they're thinking. They're thinking if there's anything else, but the two heroes that Francis has played is the Morphling. The other one is the Faceless Void. Okay, so they're gonna let the Morphling go again.
Я раздражитель.
Dire team
Бесит, я
Does he
раздражитель.
pick it up again?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
just gonna go right back for it. And one move, obviously thinking they have a way to deal with this, the Ramses Morphling, which, to be fair, in the first game they absolutely did. And what is going to be this final hero to come out here for one move that could
I like the
potentially...
Dragonite. I like the Dragonite that you mentioned.
10 seconds
Or
remaining.
even a Tidehunter wouldn't. Actually, you're up against the Destructors, so maybe
5
the
seconds
Tide
remaining.
isn't that great. So you have two ways. Either you're gonna match the push of the enemies, or you're
Yeah.
gonna get team fight. Right? With the team fight, you defend towers. Though against the Beastmaster, that doesn't always work. So,
Maybe... No, I was gonna say the Kunkka. You know, put the Snapfire in the off lane, maybe pick up a Kunkka in the mid lane just to... But then it's only really the Beastmaster that, you know, you've got to worry about with the Cleave. The Cleave is still good. It does work in the off lane from time to time. The run buff might not be bad,
Choose your hero.
but it's going to be the Dark Side. Okay, so yeah, being able to drag in, get the illusions off on, turn the, you know, Ramsey's power against himself. Nothing to drop the Iron Shell on apart from yourself, though? If you know, it's not like there's a Spirit Breaker here in the support role. There's not like there's a Primal Beast you can drop it on that does close that gap.
You have 5 range heroes, and you pick the Darkseer. This is just weird. Plus, Disruptor is like one of these supports that you don't want to be laning against as the Darkseer because you cannot escape. He has 2 spells to counter your Surge. This is just a weird one to me. I'm trying to think, like, what does it bring? What it does bring is the ability to push out the waves safely. And when you look at Darkseid, their ability to kill the creeps is very, very low. So maybe that's the reason.
Yeah. And guys, we are going to be getting into game number 2, but quickly before that, we are going to hear a word from our sponsors over at EGB. Okay, so coming back into this game here, you know, Harry, it's not too late. You can jump on the one-move hype train. Come on, all aboard. Choo-choo. Getting into it.
I don't understand the Darkseer. I don't understand the Darkseer. That's just the thing. I was okay with their lineup. I think they had pretty solid heroes, but I'm just not sure what they're trying to accomplish with it. I understand later portions of the game you're gonna win if you fight, but this time around you don't have a Clockwork. The enemies have a Vision hero. Like, how are you ever gonna find that initiation? The only thing that comes to mind is we want to push out the lanes. Fine. But what then? Right? What are you gonna initiate with? How are you gonna do it? How are you gonna make sure that you don't get ganked by a roar into an arrow? And when you're pushing towers, let's say when you bring a hero, that there's gonna be a glimpse bringing you back. I think Darkseer was basically picked up. Let's try to not allow Darkseid do what they want and then rely on Mukushi. But I don't know. I just don't see this Darkseer as working out. It's a weird one to me. I'm looking to be proved wrong. I like it, but a Darkseer with 4 range heroes, that's something you don't do. You know, MVP Phoenix, the old MVP Phoenix would agree.
30 seconds to battle.
Well, somewhere out there, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, Lyrical is just, it doesn't even matter he's not watching, he's just shaking his head at the disbelief you have in the Darkseer here. And, you know, again, one move, they pulled it out of the bag in that first game. Whatever they want to go for, you know, I believe that they have a plan to make it work, and I think that, you know, they're going to be able to do it. And there's nothing you can say or do to convince me otherwise, right up until that Ancient does fall here. Focus, going to be taking some harass in the river, actually going to be chased down. With do they have the damage to take him down? Throws out the axes, and Ironclad will be able to get the kill. Scouts Blast coming out. One move on the first foot, the first blood here, on the right track to take this game, and that's all that I needed as a sign to show me they're going to take game number 2.
Perfect start to the game as well, because it is a mid lane hero. That's a free bottle that's going to be going towards Aincrad immediately. So one move, they're going to be very happy with that one. Also considering that their lanes, mid lane, it's going to be, you know, even like the previous one. Maybe Aincrad will be losing slightly with this bottle, not going to be happening. But top lane should go well for one move, and then we have bottom lane where I have no idea, right? Because in my mind, Disruptor with an aggressive hero crushes the Darkseer. But Morphling is not necessarily an aggressive hero, though. Lately we have been seeing, you know, maxing out of the waveform and then just going aggressively. So we'll see if Ramses and Suneko can make it happen.
What do you expect from the Beastmaster? Because we saw in the last game that the Enchantress did go for an early rotation into the mid lane, you know, to take down that mid lane tower. But Beastmasters, they do usually just like to sit in their off lane and put pressure onto the towers that way. You know, force up onto the tier 2 and force rotations into their lane. So do you expect the Beastmaster to do that, or does he group up early on with Ravel once that Helm of the Dominator's out to put pressure onto this mid lane tower?
It's the top lane tower needs to drop first. That's just what needs to happen for a Beastmaster. So I wouldn't even be surprised, considering that he's up against the Enchantress, that Ravel himself rotates towards top, because that's what you want with the Beast, for the safe lane enemy tower to drop so that you can take over the area with the Hawks.
Okay, and you can see top lane, Pantomime, he's got that hill troll, so he's got the net coming out with the ensnare, throwing it onto Roger. Roger's looking for the hit onto the arrow, or is he? It's just going to fade anyway, but yeah, Pantomime throwing out a lot of harass here onto Roger in this top lane, just with the impetus coming out with the 1 point into the enchant, and Roger, you can see the reflection as well onto Roger, and he's just going to be careful. The arrow, it does connect point blank, so Pantomime chasing down, does he want to try and commit onto the kill? Well, he's got the slow onto the enchant, but it looks like DK Bogus. Does he get this kill back onto the edge? The axes fly through. It's not going to be enough for the kill, so he does get that salve off. Bogus still trying to chase down. Axes up in 2 seconds, but it doesn't look like he's going to pursue for the kill.
Yeah, understandably so. That is, he understood that after the salve was used, he wasn't going to be getting that one. But overall, this top lane is going really well for one move. The bottom lane is going really well for Darkseid currently. But once the Darkseid gets more levels, you know, it's going to be easier and easier for him to just push in the wave and get those easy last hits. The way you play against the Darkseer, sometimes first 2 levels you try to deny as much as possible because it's not easy to commit with this hero. So that's why he's not having the easiest time in terms of CS, especially because the Morphling has high damage early on.
Are you expecting just Greaves to come out early on for the Darkseer, like first big item? Because that's what you usually do see the Darkseers build into, you know, a quick mech, quick mana boots. Does he want to go all the way to Greaves here?
I think so. I think that's the best meta item currently, and you are dealing with a hero that has a silence on the enemy side. So I would say it's a pretty decent approach. You know, the other thing that comes to mind is what we have seen from Darkseers is a Vanguard. You know, he is playing against the Death Prophet, so some extra physical damage resistance would be helping him. But he has a Headrest, so you know, I'm leaning more and more towards the Guardian Greaves currently.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be the mana boots to come out for the Darkseer pretty much straight away. Going to be nice for Gilgir as well. It means that he can spam the Fade Bolts just a little bit more and get that mana to stretch just a little bit longer as well. Rabel in the mid lane taking some harass, but the bottom lane, if they want to try, I mean, Gilgir, the Absent Strike comes through. It's just Ramses, you know, throwing out some damage onto the Rubik and, you know, just trying to fend him away, but the Telekinesis is 2 points into the Fade Bolt now as well. So if he does want to throw the damage back into Ramsey's face, he can go with that Fade Bolt. Maybe try and mess up a couple of last hits there as well.
It's Fade Bolt is an annoying spell for the Morphling to deal with. Because you have such high damage, and then a lot of it, percentage-wise, you know, gets taken away.
Top lane,
your last hitting is hard.
Munkushi gets the kill. The arrow's going to connect onto the edge, and level 3 again doesn't have the points for the Nature's Attendants. And Pantomime trying to run himself away, but Roger's going to be out of mana. Doesn't have the point into the Starstorm anyway, so can't drop that onto Pantomime to secure the kill. We get the Enchantress slow with that enchant onto the Beastmaster, just chasing him down. Munkushi with the Metamorphosis. They do the damage to get the kill, and in the bottom lane now as well, the Fade Bolt comes out. Snakeo's going to go down. Ramses is going to get close down as well with the Ion Shell onto him. Ramses, he has to use the Strength Adaptive Strike, get the push back onto Afterlife to make sure he can get out alive.
Oh, they're being destroyed in the lanes, just completely annihilated. Pantomime might lose his life, but it's a small price to pay for sure. The biggest one for me is this mid lane that Aincrad managed to get the kill. Remember last game? Clockwork comes in, they can't get the kill. They use the Mortimer's Kisses. Now, even before that, they're just crushing Rabel here, and at least Darkseid are starting to push back a little bit. But overall, lanes going very, very good for one move currently.
Yeah, and Pantomime, he was out of health, he was out of mana, he saw that his mid lane needed a bottle refresh as well, so he just thought, you know what, the quickest way back to the fountain for me is just to die. So, you know, it wasn't even like he was giving up. I've gone full hopium here, you know, the cope is out in the second game. And there is going to be the rotation in Roger coming into this mid lane. You can see on the map moving himself in, but there's going to be the backstab coming through from the Mud Golem with the Boulder Toss coming through. Rabel, even with the Spirit Siphon on, he's only going to be able to go onto the Mud Golem. That split arrow does connect onto the Snapfire. Good pick up there from Roger. You know, this Marana with a really nice use of that. Coming through with the slow, the enchant comes out onto Rabel. Do they have enough damage maybe to go onto Roger here now? Because Roger, out of mana, has enough left for one lead. He looks out Pantomime. Yeah, they're going to move themselves actually onto Snako in the mid lane. Telekinesis and the Fade Bolt being thrown in, so both supports from both sides in this mid lane, creating space for the side laners, and no kills coming out from that. Rabel did get very close, but that was the Mortimer Kisses being used for that.
Good for the Morphling, but very bad for the Beastmaster on top. He's the one that needs help, though I don't know if it goes any better if Pantomime is there, who, speaking of, is now gonna die.
Yeah, he gets caught out, and they are able to take down Bambi. Hawk coming through, Munkushi is going to be spotted trying to get the pull. And it only gets onto the range creep, so he's going to be able to move himself in, but back to the mid lane for Roger. So they do want to be applying some pressure to Aincrad in this mid lane.
You have to be able to get the initial kill if you're dark side, because you want your disruptor to work. One move they drafted so that they're going to be pushing in the waves, and then disruptor isn't going to be that great, because you want to be on the aggressive with the disruptor, really. So we'll see if dark side can do it. And the mid lane, applying pressure there, it's probably the best. The bad thing, of course, is that Aincrad is much more powerful than the Death Prophet currently, just because of all the things that happened. Him getting the first blood, and then him getting the solo kill onto Rabel.
Yeah, and it looks like he does want to be the one that responds to any fights breaking out. Speaking about a fight breaking out, Gilga trying to go for the TP will be able to get away. The glimpse was already used, so no drawback onto the Rubik. Ramses loses his courier as well. Afterlife getting cheeky, taking down that. I mean, what was he going to? Okay, it was going to be power trance. I saw the glove. I was like morphing with the hand of Midas, but it was just coming out for the power trance stuff.
I don't know if you noticed in the previous game, this one as well, Ramses doesn't get a Morbid Mask on the Morphling, and he's always on 20% HP. Like, every single time in the previous game, and even in this one, I'm seeing him super low. He's never full HP, which, for the Morphling, doesn't have to be that big of an issue, but sometimes you can make a mistake because of it.
Yeah, Aincrad in the mid lane. Suneko, he's going to take some harass, and I don't know if the Observer showed it, but this Beastmaster, he keeps using his bow in this top lane to get stacks. Look at the stacks into the triangle now. He's got I think that's a quad stack and an ancient triple stack. So, if he does come in with the axes onto that, do you take that as focus, or do you leave that for the Morphling?
As focus, and we see, I don't think the Morphling can take it that easy. But yeah, we see Rabel rotating to the top lane. This was expected. This tower has to fall, and the Beastmaster, considering the laning that he was given, he's not going to be able to do it alone. I really like this move from Rabel. Even if you lose the mid lane tower, one move can't really get the kills. Pretty much the same thing as Darkseid had in the previous game, and it's not like Darkseid are going to be losing this tower.
No, yeah, you can see they leave the tower for focus to get the last. As the TP comes into mid, the last of the exorcism now as well. The glimpse back onto Aincrad. Aincrad, can he get himself away from this one? He's going to be pretty damn fast, but using that Fairy Fire. Crypt Swarm comes out, slows down Rabel with the double damage, and he's trying to use those phase moves to catch up. Aincrad even gets himself the bounty, the bottle. Is this going to be enough to keep him alive? One more right click with this double damage rune. He's trying to break some mantles here, Aincrad, but he's going to be immediately spotted. And Aincrad, the cookie to the low ground. Does he get himself away? The TP, it doesn't connect. He's going to be able to get the TP away.
Arrow! Man, did you see that arrow? It was so close. Aincrad with some beautiful footwork. He did everything right there. And that ward from his team deep into the jungle actually helped him knew from which side the Death Prophet is going to be coming. He knows he's not coming from the left. So he just goes from right to the left, going to be juking around there, and then gets to the low ground. That is just beautiful. Every single spell that he used, the Scatter Blast to slow enemies down, everything was picture perfect, and that's the only reason that he lives there.
Pantomim's going to be pretty lucky now as well. They're going to be able to get a kill to Suneko, glimpse back onto Aincrad, right back into the waiting arms of those creeps. He just says, thank you very much. I would have taken him an extra sack, and maybe he misses out on the last hit or so here. So Aincrad with the kill, as well as that full farm, that full wave of farm here. And yes, that tier 1 tower on the top lane went down, but you can see that Munkushi, he was comfortable enough that he was moving himself into the jungle anyway, going towards this Manta style. They're going to be able to get the kill. Ramses goes down. The wall gets dropped and Ramses goes down. They get the kill into Pantomim's return. But Darkseer solo, well no, there was a rotation coming out from Gilga, so it wasn't a solo kill. But they still do the damage, they still get the kill here. Onto the Morphin in the bottom lane.
The Aincrad this time dies.
Ooh, are they going to pick him up? Multiple cases starting to drop, and he has no Spirit type, and Rabel, he's going to be blown up, and Aincrad gets the kill. And you can see that they're even going to be able to get a kill to Suneko as well. Double multi-kisses.
Don't be mad.
Yeah. Wonder
Radiant
just
structures
blowing up everyone left, right, and center at the minute.
Radiant's middle tower.
A lot more pressure on the dark side. They're not playing good Dota today. And one move, they are like, yeah, guys, we have most likely been eliminated, but let's give it our all. And their all, Robin, is so good here. They're getting everything they want done on the map. They let the top tier 1 go, but that is fine. They're pressuring the bottom. They even got the mid lane rotation to Mukushi, so getting something done, getting some kind of a momentum there with the Terrorblade early on in the game is very important, because you want to have some impact with your carry. Find it somehow, and he finds the perfect moment where Aincrad is again breaking some ankles, again barely surviving, and one move now, our 5k gold ahead. That first blood has snowballed so out of control for Darkside.
Yeah, and you can see that Kilger, he wants to go for more. He stole that waveform. So Suneko, he might be the target here. Fadebolt comes through. Suneko going to be taking a lot of damage as the Exorcism gets pop Rabel. He goes towards that illusion room. Gilgir, does he get himself away from this one? Just wavestorms himself up to the higher ground, away from the kinetic field, and out of danger here, Rubik.
He waited for the Thunderstrike to stop, because Thunderstrike gives vision, so he waits for those 4 ticks, and then he waveforms away. He knew that he was going to live there, especially because there's no silence on Rabel currently.
Okay, Rabel now, the Exorcism is going to be coming to a close, but they should have the damage to take down this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. I say should, is Pantomime, is he looking for the die? He gets it as well. So they get it does open up the map. But, you know, that little bit of extra gold taken away from the side of Darkside, it's just the moral, or the mental victory there to get that denied from Pantomime as well.
Let's see now. One move, they're 6k gold ahead. The game is going amazing for them. The thing is, though, their towers have fallen. Ramses? Okay.
You make the dive.
Gilgir.
I mean, Suneko's in this. Moonlight Shadow is going to be used as well. So if you want to go, they're going to get the drag back with the multiple kisses onto Ramses. Ramses, does he have enough health to sustain through this? It looks like he does. The sounds comes out there from Rabel. And now the chase on to the Enchantress and Ench. Rabel will get the kill onto Pantomime.
As I mentioned, now is the real showing of one move to see what they're gonna do, because they've gotten their timings. They're gonna have the BKB on Aincrad fairly soon. They have the Guardian Greaves. The question is, what do you do now? Do you just farm? Do you just push out the Darkside out of your jungle and hope that in the late game you're gonna be fine? Or do you try to press this lead? And both of those options have a good argument for them. One is late game, you could be in trouble against the Beastmaster, but late game Terrorblade and the Darkseer versus the Morphling should have an edge, especially if you're ahead, even in an area that you do not have control of. So we'll see what one move wants to do, but now this is the real test, you know, because you're not going to be controlling the majority of the map, even though you're ahead.
Is under attack.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, how far away is the Exorcism? Exorcism, as we can see on the screen, they're 13 seconds away. Can I just say how much I love these cooldown things on the broadcast? They just go alongside the hero lineup as well at the top of the screen.
You can say that you love it. That's very nice of you to praise our production, who are the ones that are behind our great casting success. But Roger?
They've got the catch out onto Roger. Can he get? He absolutely cannot get himself away. Into the waiting arms of the Snapfire, point blank though with the Scatter Blast to secure the kill against the Mirana.
He just jumps towards the Snapfire and dies faster. You know?
Yeah, he just wants to get it over with.
Yeah, just don't make it long. No reason to suffer. No reason to suffer. So it is one move there, pushing out the Beastmaster out of the top part of the map. I like this. This is the way that you're gonna keep the lead going your way. This is the way that you're gonna be controlling the majority of the map, or at least not allowing Darkside to control the majority of it. And with this kind of an approach, if you're taking the top part of the map, you are gonna be retaining your lead for the later portions of the game.
Yeah, one move with that 5k net worth lead here as well. You can see that all 3 cores on their side, you know, topping that net worth chart. It is only about 1,000 difference between the Morphling and the Terrorblade. So, you know, it's not they can get a kill onto the Terrorblade here. Darkside, it does offer the opportunity for the Morphling to catch right back up. But it's just that overall difference now. Enchantress, the Wallowing Ripper, it's going to be the Ench's Wallowing Ripper, but the road does come through. Is there going to be anyone helping him out? Arrow connects onto the Ench, and Ench is going to go down eventually. So, does mean they're going to be able to get a kill? They're trying out for the Ramses on the bottom lane.
Ramses is not feeling good today. He is definitely not feeling good. Darkside needs more.
Yeah. And Roger, they want to go in. There's going to be the dive in as well as that 4 points into the Starstorm come through. Aincrad, he just shrugs it off. You look at it, it's start by a big tanky hero here, Afterlife with the Greaves, can pop that anytime any burst damage comes through, and the survivability of these two heroes underneath the tier 2 tower, no chance to get the burst damage here on the dark side to get either kill.
Even if Ramses doesn't die, One Move are still doing what they want. They give the Enchantress, they force out all the TPs towards the top lane. You know Darkseid are there, you're gonna push them out immediately, and then when the TPs are there, the One Move takes control of the bottom lane again. But Ramses dying is just a really big problem. And Pantomime is every single time in front. He is the one that just wants to die. Of course, this time around they're gonna kill him slightly faster, so this should be an opening for Darkseid to get something more done on the map.
Yeah, full canary in the coal mine there from Pantomime, but he's going to be fine with that because it does mean that, because Terrorblade was right next to him, Mancusi, he just wanted to go for the retreat, and Mancusi has that Eye of Scar, he didn't go, he's going to go back for another Lincoln, and it does make sense again. Into Ramses, he's not going to be close. He actually goes for a Manta style first here, Ramses, but at some point he is going to want that Acceptor, so being able to have that Lincoln Sphere up early, and Mancusi to block that, make sure he doesn't lose the stats, or at least force out a spell to break that Lincoln Sphere. It is going to be really nice just for the survivability, the actual effectiveness of Mancusi here in these fights, but you can see that there's a really nice ward. I love this ward. It's not on the high ground, and it's not going to be shown on cameras. I'm going to point it out. It's near the Roche pit on the top part of the Radiant Triangle. It's not on the high ground, but it is going to see any time Darkseid move towards the Roche pit from this angle. And it means that One Move, especially with the Exorcism, because that's going to be the big thing that Darkseid want to go in the pit with. So as soon as, if they see that, they can get in, they can contest. They don't have a Clockwork this time to get a hook shot into the pit, but they still have those Mortimer Kisses. They still have a vacuum into a wall that can be dropped this time. They still have, the Fade Ball that's going to pass through. So One Move have a great skill set to contest on any Roche takes.
Still, this mode for them is big because they finally have their item timings. They thought they were in Roche.
Yeah, they see Roger, so they start to drop the Morty Kisses, and a couple connect onto Roger, but it does put them on cooldown now. Did they get it? The Cookie! They get Rebel now! Great Cookie to get the kill onto, and they're going to be able to get on Rebel as well. Taking down the Disruptor and the Death Prophet. With Exorcism not going to be, well, they do have the buyback, so if they want to, Exorcism could be available. Ramses not making his way. The Metamorphosis is up as well. They've got the Molten Cookie from the Snapfire, so all of this extra damage, and it looks like Darkseid, do they want to try and contest this? Ramses is TPing up.
It's very hard, but they're going to try. Still no BKB on the Terrorblade, so he dies inside of the Static Storm once Soneko is back up.
Yeah, but they've still... they've got the lift on Ramses. Roshan is getting really down low. This is going to be interesting. Mancusi nothing to contest. He doesn't get out. Aegis. He might go down. The vacuum comes through, so the Aegis is going to be popped immediately here. Darkseid, he's going to go down as well. This Aegis back up Ramses. What can he do? Because he's already used his spells. Ramses, can he get himself outside of the pit? He's trying. He's still got that Darkseid form there as well, so he has the surge. If he needs it, Ramses back in. Drops it and shots of Rabel. But they're going to be able to get the drag back here onto Mancusi. Exorcism now will come out. Mancusi, can he get himself up? The Cookie comes out. He's on the high ground. And he might be able to get himself away. Mancusi just has to
know where to go.
Yeah, the Sundari comes out, turns himself around with the damage. It's still going to be able to take on the Terrorblade twice. They might even get a bonus. Okay, so he's trying to go even in that pig form, wee all the way to the grave.
A much different game when you don't have the initiation, when you don't have the vision. One move. At least they took the Roche away from Darkseid, but that's it. The Goldie, the one that you have accumulated, it's completely gone. Afterlife, after this pipe, I think he has to go for a Blink Dagger. This is the thing about playing against the Vision heroes. There are two. You can maybe even say three on the side of Darkseid, and on the side of One Move. They only have this Enchantress. It's going to be giving some vision on the map. One Move, you're going to be very sad about that one.
Yeah, but look at the odds here on the EGB odd sheet. You can see that One Move, they've come right down in terms of being close. The Darkseid still are the favourites for the second map, but One Move, they were, I think it was something like 3 or 4 before the map actually started, now bringing them right down to close to evens with Darkseid. Or equal to Darkseid, I should say.
One move, they really want to continue pushing forward. This is a good dive.
Yeah, they've got Rainbow, they've got the drive back. Multiple cases, Wall's going to be used now as well. Is
Need to dive faster.
Do they have the damage? The Cookie's going to come in. It doesn't actually connect. They might be able to get the kill to Marana, but now one move, they do need to scatter, get themselves away from this. Don't get the kill onto Rainbow. It's going to get low. The illusion damage from the wall as well onto Roger. Starstorm does get dropped. They have a lot of damage onto the Rubik though. Roger, he has to run himself with the Fable. They're going to be able to get the kill, even if it's not going to be the death profit. He still get another kill out of this. I'm going to be able to apply the pressure now with the Terrorblades. Oh, he does get dragged back, but nothing to follow up. Ramses, he gets that morph off, but no Aghanim Scepter, so no stat steal, no major stat steal coming out for the Morphlin. This tier 2 tower should still go down after the fortification was off.
We can see that when the positioning of one move is good, that they can take fights when they're going for these towers. But tier 2, when you're pushing it, you're always going to have a better position unless the enemy team went for a smoke and you were the ones initiating, so that wasn't the case. And that's why Darkside couldn't get themselves into a good fight there. And I'm actually very surprised that one move bail out of that one. You could see that Darkside didn't want to fight, and for a good reason. They didn't really have the positioning to do so.
Yeah, and at least, again, with that Aegis kill onto the Terrorblade, you know, it means that if they do want to take a fight here, it's one, well, technically 2 lives with the Sunder. Maybe 2.5 with the Greaves as well. But they proved he is killable. You know, if they can get on top, how is Ramses looking in terms of items as well? So Ramses actually wants to BKB before Lincoln Sphere, before he gets over to the Scepter. No shard here for him either.
I think both cores are understanding right now. Ramses, I have to kill this Terrorblade, and Terrorblade is, I have to survive the Static Storm. That's why you're seeing the BKB now being taken over the Lincoln Sphere, over the Manta style for the Terrorblade. He has to live through the Static Storm. If he gets toward Static Storm drop, you are dead. There is nothing in this world that can save you, and you need to make sure that that doesn't happen. Looking at your supports, they don't really have much to assist you to get you out of the kinetic field, you know, so you're gonna have to do it yourself.
You can see that I thought there was a smoke. No, there's no smoke coming through. They're just trying to clear up this creep wave that is the ancient Thunderhide from the Beastmaster, trying to push out this lane, but being chased by the Tomato and the creep wave and the Iron Shell. This Thunderhide does have to retreat far back enough that at least the Beastmaster can get these axes off. And we can see that one move, they've got a 3k net worth advantage. They've got a 3-kill lead. They might even make it a 4-kill lead. Marana, what was stolen? It's going to be the Starstorm. But Roger, even with that silence onto him, stolen from the Death Prophet. Gilga not able to claim the kill. Ironcrad able to TP close enough to follow up as well. Going towards the E-Blade from Ironcrad, he got that last game as well. I don't know how effective that was overall, but it's going to be nice just being able to pop it. Telekinesis comes out, they're going to be able to get a kill. The cookie comes through, but it wasn't enough. Roger, he gets the leap away to safety.
Minecraft doesn't have a blink this game, so it's not that easy for him to get there in time. Even with the Rubik being with the blink, you needed to start moving a little bit earlier, and then he misses both the cookie and the scatter blast. If one of those connects, the Mirana just dies.
Yeah, Seer going towards the Scepter as well. He wants that normal punch.
I would rather he buys a blink. He has a blink and quick buy as well. Yeah. I think he needs it. I do like the Aghanim Scepter, but it's going to be hard to run into the enemies because you are up against the Beastmaster and you do not want your Darkseer to die at the start of the fight.
Look at this as well. They're trying to force something out here. One move. They're smoked up. They're just using these Terrorblade illusions to push out. And even the Thunderhide not going to be able to step up to these Terrorblade illusions. Going to be forced all the way back. So this tier 2 tower in the mid lane is going to take some damage. Meanwhile, one move, they smoke up. They're looking for any defensive rotations coming in. The TPs came back into the base, so they're not going to be able to catch anyone out. And yeah, even stabbing it up to their side of the map, where Darkside just were, they weren't able to catch anybody out. But it was a good move.
Yeah, it would have been a good position to fight in, and you want to push Darkside back always, because Darkside are really having issues dealing with the lanes, and then if you push in some of the lanes in smoke and you push Darkside back, it's automatically going to be easy to read them. That's why you're very rarely seeing one move being caught out.
Oh, do we have the vision onto this now? The observer for the side of the raid is going to be fading the illusions. It sees the heroes, but Pantomime, he has the force step outside of the connected field. Do we have the jump onto Ramses? Ramses, he's going to be taking some damage. Ultimate Kiss is coming through now as well. Ramses has already used that Manta style, trying to get himself back, but doesn't use the BKB just yet. Ultimate Kiss is going to use, that's going to be a really good back into the wall. No focus, he's going to go down to get the kill onto Toon. And the Starstorm damage, even with the connected field being up, they still get the kills, they're still able to advance. And I don't think the Static Storm was enough. I don't think it was on anyone. So the damage, the Darkseer wall was already there. Really nice couple of kills.
And the Darkseer now is starting to really be a problem because he's the strongest teamfight hero in this game. And you really can't do much about it, especially once he gets the blink. That was not great positioning from Darkseid. They were on the high ground and they could have prevented 3 of their heroes being caught in the vacuum, but those things are gonna happen from time to time, and when they do, you have just instantly lost the fight.
Gilgit gets arrowed, Ravel as well as Roger looking for the pick here onto the Rubik. The sounds comes out as well, but Rubik, he's just gonna go to the TV, the glimpse, and he's gonna be dragged back, and Gilgit, he's gonna waste a lot of time. Opens up the tier 2 tower, and for support, yeah, good trades. It took short time for them to get the kill, that they couldn't respond to that tower being taken down in the mid lane. And it looks like
why the hell is he so tanky?
He took the attribute shift off the Morphlin and went full strength.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense, Yes, 2k HP. I was thinking, I'm clicking on the Darkseer, I'm looking at the talent, he went for the 100 vacuum AoE, because he knows that that's the big one, so he doesn't have the extra HP from the Iron Shell. I'm thinking, like, why isn't this Rubik dying? But yeah, he did steal the attribute shift. I don't know if you saw it in the previous game, that Ramses never wanted to give the attribute shift to the Rubik. Because of it, they were dealing with the waveform. This game is like, just have it, just take it, like, who the hell cares? But even despite that, he might be, he's now thinking, what should I give this to this guy? I need to give him the adaptive strike.
It's just, I'm looking at the Rubik here, and next time the observer brings up as well, you know, everyone in, like, watching can look at it. He has 8 agility. 94 strength for a Rubik and 8 agility. So yeah, he's rocking that 2k health pool. And he's got to, you know, he's got the blink himself going towards that charge. Well, actually did have this dive onto Rabel. Did he have the cookie? It's going to be the vacuum coming through, and Rabel, he's going to be forced to use this BKB. And that's going to be the fresh BKB there as well. The 9-second BKB is going to be down as this fight breaks out. The ultimate kiss is starting to rain down. Who are they going to hit, though? They don't have the vision because the Moonlight Shadow is going to be coming out.
Darkseer waiting for his chance. He has the Blink Dagger and he wants to find the right initiation.
Yeah, if he can get this up, and then he might cost him an Enchantress. Exorcism's going to be popped here from Rabel. He does have the Arcane Rune, so it's not going to be the massive cooldown on the Exorcism like it normally would. You know, you get a, what is it, 30% off cooldown, which is going to be nice, but it does mean that now Roshan isn't up for another minute. What can they do while this Exorcism is up?
Ideally, they wanted to chase for more for the Eclipse, but they hoped that the Roche had spawned, so they went for that one. That is going to allow one move to reset. You're seeing just how much Ramses emphasizes killing this Enchantress at the start of the fight. That is something that he just wants to get out of the way. Just wait for him in, destroy one hero, and then if one move wants to go in, you don't get much help from your team, and then if they want to go in, you are separated enough so the big vacuum wall doesn't come through.
Oh, the arrow splits the wickets between Munkushi and Aincrad. So now, I mean, the ultimate case is how far away? 40 seconds off them, but Exorcism's down. Moonlight Shadow's going to be down for the next 40 seconds here as well. Can they do something? Roger, it's going to get the leap, but there's going to be the blinking. He gets the silence off there as well. Storm from the Death Prophet. Roger not going to be able to get the leaps away, the damage, and Roger, he's going to be chased down. He doesn't have any leap charges anyway. Pantomime does secure the kill. Really nice pick of 42 seconds without a Marana, and the Hawk's going to go down over the Roche pit. This is a really nice timing with the Roshan respawning. The Mortimer Kiss is coming right back up.
The side of Darkseid, they have better vision, but one move, they have better team fight, and they know they can commit on targets, whereas one move, whereas Darkseid, they can't do it.
Yeah, Rabel, the game is going to slow right down here, but Rabel, he throws out that BKB early. DK Progress, the reflection going to be used. He has to use the wall, but the Mortimer Kiss is going to be right down. Going to have to take Beastmaster. They're going to get the kill to Ramses, and now even the Disruptor is going to get low, chasing away. BKB Death Prophet doesn't have it anymore. He's going to be silenced up. Not going to be able to pop that Exorcism just yet. And he get the kill onto Seneko. Anything to stop the TP? No, but what was stolen, it's going to be the Cryptol. That's extra damage. And now, with 2 heroes dead, with Ramses being dead, one move can go right back into the Roche pit.
Ramses had a double damage, and that's why he went straight onto Munkushi. But no, you just can't win a fight. You're going onto the high ground where a Terrorblade with 10 of his illusions are. He ripped him apart in a second, right? He thought it was going to be the other way around. Like, I have the Beastmaster here, I have the DB, but it changed nothing. DB just way too powerful right now. And the team fight from one move, it seems to be the thing that is dictating these fights, despite the superior vision of Darkseid.
Yeah, at least now they might be able to come in, no Terrorblade, BKB for the next 27 seconds. So the Exorcism is going to be put backline, so they found out the Beastmaster. Starfire for the damage. It's going to be able to take him down with that Molten Cookie now as well. The drive back onto Rabel. And that's going to be Ramses buying back, but the Exorcism's down. Arrow flies through. They say thank you for the helping hand here. Roshan going to be stunned up. March himself right back into the pit. Roger trying to leap in through. Maybe trying to get started with Stardom. But all it's going to got it. The Aegis. But it's going to cost him this Aegis. And yeah, 3 heroes, he's trying to get himself away the leaves, but the telekinesis comes through. So okay, he gets that Aegis. That is a Brucey bonus. And I'll never explain what a Brucey bonus is, you know, because we don't have the time, unfortunately, having to get right back into this match.
Yeah, I could. I have a theory, but I'm not gonna start with it now. Anyways, though, one move, big fight. You can see this is the difference, right? Darkseid, they see a hero, they cannot commit. They have to go with 1 or 2 heroes. With the morphing and the DP, that's the max of it. And you're going forward, and you're behind, so you can't get that initial kill. But the reason why you can't commit is because the Darkseid will get you in a vacuum wall, and you're gonna immediately lose the fight. You have 3 or 4 heroes together, right? So you have to approach it very carefully. One move, when they see a hero, they run in headlessly. And there is no punish, because the Darkseid will always be able to help them in a fight, even if it's a good Static Storm placement and he doesn't have a BKB. With his 100 vacuum AoE added to his vacuum, he will always have the range to get on some of the heroes that are going ham on one of his. And it just makes it so easy for one move to fight. Still, Darkseid, what they did in that fight by stealing the Aegis, they delayed this game. Why? Because they still have better vision, and for one move, it's still not super easy to come towards the high ground, because they're gonna get split pushed. Then when you start to try to deal with the lanes, you might get picked off and allow your enemies to come back to the game. So Roger, he has bought some time for his team, where one move isn't gonna be feeling too confident to commit onto the high ground, even though currently that would be the best thing they could do. But without the Aegis, it always feels hard and tough to go for that kind of an approach.
Yeah, at least one move, I'm pretty sure they got the shot out of it on the Rubik shot. Snako, Moonlight Shadow comes down. Snako, Sentries and Wards have been dropped here as well. Ankrad just going to go for that TP away. We got scouted out here on the side of Darkseid. So everybody, even without Moonlight Shadow coming out, Ankrad, even the scan's being used to try and scout this one out, but Ankrad, he was already out.
And see, he's going for the hacks on the Snapfire. Understands. I blink in, I just destroy someone with the E-Blade, and the enemies, they cannot re-engage. They just cannot do it. And he's going for these split pushes. He wants to have the ability to threaten the lives, at least of the supports.
Yeah, and with the boots of travel as well, Ankrad being able to push out again on another lane and then immediately respond if a gank breaks out. You've got Afterlife that can do it as well. Just drops an Iron Shell and then surges to the rest of his team to group up. And now Afterlife, he gets the vacuum back onto Roger. Roger, can he get himself away? No lead charges. Roger just stands, he accepts his death. And, well, okay. He's got himself the Overseal Totem, so he's going to make him work for this. No, maybe not. The Roar comes out. That was a bait. That was a great bait, mate. As now they're even going to get the 10 out onto the Rubik. Okay, I was wrong. I thought Roger, he was just accepting his fate there.
He got arrowed. He got arrowed. You didn't see, because Rubik and no animation. He just point blanked him that way. He was standing for a second or two. But those are 2 big kills, and without the Darkseid now, finally Darkseid can commit. They can't go for a big fight. They are missing a couple of heroes though.
Yeah, Ankrad, he gets that dive in. There's going to be forces out the Manta style actually from Ramses, and Ramses, these multi-kisses are going to be dropping Ramses, but the arrow comes out. Ramses, did he get himself away from this one? He has to use his BKB waveform himself into the trees as well. And again, the BKB is going to be used to keep him alive, and now, all of a sudden, again, the momentum, it shifts in favor of one move in this bottom lane.
Oh man, Roger is holding the lifeline of Darkseid in this game. He steals the Aegis, he gets the arrow, and now he baits these 2. He's literally doing everything for his team, right? Because that arrow doesn't connect on Munkushi, Ramses is dead. Munkushi could have popped the BKB, but you're not expecting, like, haha, look at what this guy is doing. I'm just gonna rip him apart right now. And then Roger just gets an arrow in. Next to all of your illusions, the real hero is the one that does get hit. So Roger, so far so good. His Dark's performance in this game has really been phenomenal, but still they're on the losing end, and One Move again have all of their heroes.
And One Move, I mean, Afterlife, he's about 600 gold away from completing onto getting the normal punch off. You know, you get the extra illusion coming through. That you get yourself in, you jump in, you get the stun off there as well, and with the wall, you know, jumping into the normal punch onto Ramses. Ramses, he's going to be taking so much damage coming through onto this. That, you know, how does he really survive through everything that One Move can stack up against him?
Well, both teams now are, when you look at it, itemizing in a really good way, right? On the side of Darkseid, they're going for a Blink Hex on the Death Prophet, and they're going overwhelming damage from the Morphling. Why?
Yeah.
They want, without much committal, to be able to kill a hero. On the side of One Move, they just want more ways to initiate, right? And that's why the Snapfire has this Hex that now is going to be used so perfectly to kill Roger, right? So both teams are itemizing perfectly, but with One Move being ahead, their items are coming earlier, and that's why it's going to pose a big threat to Darkseid.
Oh, Aincrad, he goes right into the path here of the Beastmaster. The tip's going to come out. If he held himself in the trees, you know, just waiting for that TP to come off, maybe he survives through that. But, you know, he tried to get the cookie away and try and get himself back to the rest of his team, and it means he pays with his life. He gives up, what was that, about 1,000 gold he gave up there after dying?
Man, it was a lot. It was 1,000 only Ramses, and, you know, a lot of bonuses on the side. And that's a beyond godlike Snapfire, 11 and 1 now.
What can we do? I mean, Ramses is going to be slowed down. He forced the Manta style out again. Ramses, this time he doesn't even need the BKB. Just going to be able to back himself away. And 5 versus, well, with Roger coming back alive now, Moonlight Shadow is going to be using it. It's going to be that 5 versus 4 eventually, as it looks like. Do they get the jump out? No. Dark's here. He's going to be away. He's going to be over and away from the kinetic field. And One Move just have to back themselves away, but really nice position here from Darkseid, letting Ramses push onto this tier 2, while the rest of them in that triangle just trying to scout out any aggression from out on the side of One Move.
You can see the emphasis the Darkseid are putting onto the burst damage, and they're just getting the Alpha Wolf, even though the Enchantress can easily take that one. You know, she only gets the talent to steal the Ancient Creeps on level 20. You know that it is important for Ramses to rip people apart. These heroes, One Move, 4 of the heroes have to die. The Terrorblade is gonna have to be ignored at the start of the fights, unless you can find the perfect initiation. But I think Darkseid, if they see a Terrorblade and don't know exactly where the enemies are, just let them be and try to finish off the other ones faster.
Gilga goes with the self-teasy there on the cliff, but he's going to be able to get the dive in, but waveform coming out from Ramsey, pops that BKB. Munkushi going to be using his own BKB, he's just going to be able to walk himself out of the kinetic field. Now Ramsey's going to be chased down, these right clicks from out from Munkushi. Ramsey's, what can he do? Because he's still going to be blinking, he's got that telekinesis up in 1 second, but the waveform comes out, he's going to roll the blast back. Only could be committed though, onto the Rubik just to make sure he couldn't get the telekinesis off, and they get the kill to Ramsey's. So Naked goes down on the backlines there as well. Aincrad picked up the kill, and look at this, One Move, no buyback onto Ramsey's. He's already dead. 107 seconds before he comes back up, and One Move, they want to be moving in, they want to be putting pressure onto the towers, but there is no creep wave. It's all the way back here close to where that tier 1 tower would stand. So the backdoor protection is up here for against One Move.
What was this far for Darkseid was Saneko's item, the Aghanim Scepter. Because of it, they thought they could go for the Terrorblade, they thought they could get the kill, but Munkushi gets the BKB just before it lands, and it was already too late. Ramses was too deep already, no way to get out, and that's why you lose the fight. That's why it's so tough, man. Even with it, I still don't think Terrorblade is your target. Leave him for last. We saw that he needs a lot of time to kill Ramses. Ramses doesn't need that much time to kill the other ones on One Move. He kills them actually really fast if he can get the hits in.
And they're going to lose the lane of racks from this. Ramses isn't firing back. He knows if he fires back and the fight, Rebel dives in. He's going to pop that Exorcism now as well with his BKB, but it is only going to be that 6-second BKB. The roll comes through onto the Darkseid. The Darkseid is going to be silenced off. He's not going to use his creep just yet. And now he moves himself away. Can he get them up? He can. And they're going to be able to get the dive in. So he did. He fought back. He's going to go down. That's going to be the game. Everybody on the side of Darkseid, they want to buy back into this, but One Move, they want to end this here and now. And they forced out the buyback. It's just going to be called. The disconnects come out from One Move. They take the series, yeah. It's just over. Hurry. Chant it with me. Rob was right. Rob was right. Rob was right. Rob was right.
Yeah, Rob was right.
In 2-0 One Move. They've shown it all along, all throughout the DPC, sparks of this quality. And today, when it really mattered, when the lives were on the line, when it was their fate in their own hands, they take the series over to Darkside, and all of a sudden Darkside not looking as comfortable here with only 2 wins in the DPC so far.
And you know, one could argue in game number 1, yeah, Darkside, they had the lead, they had the game, they didn't play it well enough, and then one move did manage to get it into late game. This game, one move, they were in control for the entirety of it. At every point of the game, they had an idea what they wanted to do. There were times when Darkside were getting it back, mainly that one fight, the first Roche fight, where they completely evened out the game. But really, one move were the one dictating the tempo. They were the ones that had the late game team fight, and they were holding the lead for the majority of this game. And you know, Darkside, I still have to criticize. They tried to kill Munkushi twice. That's why they lost the game. They could have focused on the other ones, but one move, they were the ones that were offering the Terrorblade all the time. So it wasn't easy to get into the backlines, even with the vision heroes that you have. You can't get it back there. Afterlife just holding, waiting, and when he strikes in the vacuum, you know, and if Munkushi isn't dead, you know that the fight is done. So one move, just beautifully done. It all started with that first blood from Minecraft, and I have to say, this guy, he had a hell of a game, he had a hell of a series. Those jukes that he made in the mid lane, you know, all of those little things accumulated in the end. The Darkside, in the last 2 fights, they looked completely helpless.
Yeah, and that will move right up the table though to be alongside Na'Vi in that 6th position. Only Namiga yet to win a series here in the Eastern European DPC, but one move again, they play up against Namiga in a couple of days, well, in about 4 days time, so they could win that again. Namiga not looking great at the minute, and one move in a really nice position to leapfrog over Na'Vi, who still have VP to play, who still have Namiga themselves, so we could be looking at tiebreakers here at the bottom of the table. And Darkside, that means that the maximum now they can get is 3 and 4 coming into the final game, which is going to be against Hellraisers. So they are no longer able, to jump up into that top of the table, into those top 3 slots. Only Virtus Pro with a chance of knocking out Spirit, Hellraisers, and Bet Boom. And Virtus Pro, who have they got left? They've got Na'Vi and Team Spirit to play themselves. So this could be, you know, we might be looking at here that top 3 already being locked in.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably is the case. Bet Boom, Hellraisers, and Team Spirit, they're looking very strong. And I would be very surprised if Team Spirit lose to Virtus Pro, though they do have had some, you know, problems. But Darkside, man, I'm gonna say, well, my thoughts about this one is they might not understand the Death Prophet as a hero and how to utilize it, because they lose against it. The only game they won with Death Prophet was against Bet Boom, and that is the game that they were getting absolutely demolished, and then they got back into it, you know, with overdives from Bet Boom. So it's not like they were utilizing the hero properly, getting towers, taking the areas off the map, and just finishing the game. It was the other way around. Then they lose to Virtus Pro and their Death Prophet, and usually that is the case. When you don't know how to play one hero, you might not know how to play against it, and we're seeing it here 2 games in a row. Darkside, the Death Prophet just wasn't that big of a factor. Never really able to overtake the game the way that he would want. You know, those Death Prophet that can't die, that are killing everyone, taking Roches, destroying the map. He just never got to that point, especially in this game number 2, where his middle lane counterpart had the dearly advantage with the first blood.
Yeah, and one more time before we go, Rob was right. No, but that is going to be the first series over with one move in a really nice position coming into the final week of the DPC. We're going to be taking a little bit of a longer break here before the second series starts. It is going to be Team Spirit versus Hellraisers, and that is going to be Gary as well as Trent to guide you through that one. But for now, guys, thank you for tuning into this first game, and we'll be back. Rob was right, yeah, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes time, I think, for that second series. So we will see you then. But for now, thank you for tuning in, and here's the break.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, see you on Thursday. Yeah, laters.
Bye bye.